Paul Kiprotich Koech, do swear that the evidence I shall give before this is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God. I, Bernard Kipet Koech, do swear that the evidence I shall give before this committee is the truth and the whole truth and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Asante sana Paul and Bernard. Tunakaribisha sana kwa hii kikao. Hiki kikao za NADOC committee, na tunafanya upelelezi kuhusika na yale mambo ambayo yanaendelea pale KEWASCO, na tunajua kwamba nyinyi ni wageni wetu siku ya leo, and tungependa tujitambulishe. So mbele yenu ni wanakamati wa kamati speciali ya HADOC. So mbele yenu ni chairman ama mwenyekiti, kwa majina naitwa Eric B, mwakilishi wa wadi wa Kaplelated ward pale chini, na pia ni mwenyekiti wa hiki kikao.
Jina langu ni Eric Bet, mwakilishi wadi ya Kipshebor ward, naibu wa speaker na member wa hii kamati.
Good morning. My name is Martin Chiriot, MCA Kapwirwet ward, vice chair to this committee. Karibuni.
Habari ya asubuhi. Kwa majina naitwa Vincent Korir, ni mwakilishi wa wadi ya Londiani na mwanakamati wa hili kamati. Thank you.
I'm Kipet Peter, MCA Kapsosar ward. Karibuni.
Ablele Sirma, nominated MCA. Karibuni.
Anthony Ruto, mwakilishi wa Kipkelian ward na ni member.
Morning, I'm Mercy Chekema, Danolod.
Kwa majina ni Benson Rogoy, one of the secretariat.
Nancy Bone, MNE officer. Cherena Winnie, legal officer.
Sarah Mayo, Sergeant at Arms.
Asante sana. Kabla tujaendelea kwenu, ningependa na waombe tu mnapojitambulisha ili tuelezee ni yapi yaliyojitokeza pale kampuni yetu ya KEWASCO. Nyinyi tumesikia kwamba nyinyi mlikuwa wafanyikazi ambao mliweza mkafukuzwa ama mlimaliza tamu wenu pale KEWASCO. Sasa tungependa kama hii kikao mjitambulishe na tuelezee ni nini yalifanyika mpaka wakati kama huu ambapo mko nyumbani. So mtachukua nafasi kutueleza kwa lugha ambayo mnaifahamu vizuri. Kama pia mngekuwa na mtaweza kujieleza kwa lugha ya kinyumbani ama ya Kiswahili ama ya Kiingereza, mtaweza kuchukua hiyo nafasi mtuelezee kwa ufupi. Hatutachukua muda mwingi kwenu kwa sababu nyinyi tumewauliza tu mkuje mtupatie ushahidi ni nini yalitokezea pale kwa kampuni yetu ya KEWASCO mpaka wakati huu mko nyumbani. So Bernard na Paul, nafasi ni wenu. Mchukue nafasi mzuri, mtuelezee ni yapi yaliyofanyika. Karibuni sana.
Asante sana mwenyekiti. As I had said, my name is Paul Kiprotich Koech. I worked with KEWASCO. I started first working with the defunct local authority, that was the municipal council. I worked in water department until the year 2003 when the new company was formed and we were absorbed into the private company. I observed these different levels. I've worked as a meter reader, I've worked as a dispatch clerk, I've worked as an RRW officer. At the time I was dismissed, I was the area officer or area manager, Area D, that covers Nyagacho, Kipchimchim, Kamashandalel, Chepurbet, down to Kabaruso. At some level, I also acted as the operations manager in the company. What happened actually is there was a period when there was works going on along the Chepurbet, Kipchimchim, down to Brook on the road works, tarmacking of that road. There was a lot of damages on the water lines. Because it was actually my area, it was under Area D, where I was the area manager. So I was supposed to be overseeing and working closely with the supervisors and the contractor. It reached an extent that we complained to the contractor that there's a lot of damage, and remember that line right from the junction from treatment works, it serves down to Kipsalu. So when that line was damaged, all the consumers from let's say from Mangway down to Kipsalu had no water. When we complained, the contractor said, work on the pipes, give us a BQ, what is the total number of pipes that were damaged. I approached the technical manager. We estimated the number of pipes and gave to the contractor, which he paid in form of cash to the company. Later on, I kept asking, because at that time, he was the water inspector, technical inspector, of which he was my boss in a way. So he was also asked to assist me in the far end, because these damages could go a long way. You could find a damage happening at Manguin, at the same time another one happening at Kabaruso down there. So I was given a backup. I was sent Mr. Bernard Koech to assist me. So when it reached an extent, we asked the management, what is going on? The contractor is claiming that he has given the monies. You are not buying us pipes. You are not giving even us, you are not giving monies to get casuals to dig a trench. Instead, what they went on, they told us, use the pipes that were there. Now, remember, these pipes, when they are damaged, you need to cut, it reduces the size. At times, the whole system could be, because a shovel can move and crush almost 7 pipes. So at the end of the day, you will not have enough pipes. Now, when we complained so much, again, he told me to use the staff. Remember, the staff I had were about 7, and they are entitled to carry out repairs, not to do such a work that is supposed to be done contractually, because already the monies have been given. So he told me, the management told me, engage the staff you have. Now, remember, the same staff, 7 staff, ranging all the way from Mangui to Jekurbe, 7 staff. You are told to use the pipes that are already broken. You go cutting pipes, connecting them. So we went ahead. Even now, if we go to that line and excavate, you will find there is a lot of problems, because some of the pipes runs from the other side. Some are 10 inches. All of a sudden you are told, use these ones. They are 6 inches. Some are even 8 inches. Now that one in itself first causes what we call water injury. There is no consistency in the supply, because this is a bigger pipe, goes to a smaller one, goes to a bigger one. So it becomes a problem. That's why you find in that area there is a lot of people saying we do not have water. Now when we raised a question, It went even to an extent whereby when actually in technical work, when you are doing anything beyond 3 inches, there is a joint called VJ coupling that you are supposed to use in connecting. Still, they did not provide those things. It reached an extent where we were forced to weld a socket in a 10-inch pipe. Remember being told weld a 10-inch pipe so that it fits, you put it using the solvent cement which is tangent. It becomes so tedious. So when you complained a lot, that is when now it raised a lot of questions. And the first victim was Mr. Bernard Koech. He was sent home in July. Now, after that, okay, we are down the line and completed. With all the problems, we agreed, we persevered, and we finished. Now came another line, again within my area, a backwash line that was to be done from treatment works that is used in cleaning the filters. And there was supposed to be, the waters that have been used was supposed to be disposed at the lower level of there is a river nearby. So when these pipes, when the road actually passed beyond the areas where the pipes were, so we had to do afresh. Still, that is another money given by the same contractor to do that work. This time down, they bought pipes to lay down there. But the problem is there was no labor. Still, we were engaged as staff to go and do the works as ourselves. Now, already my friend had been dismissed. It is now me who said, no, I cannot do this one, this time round. The only word I remember the MD told me is, that was the words he used. So after that, we now started rubbing shoulders. Also, I forgot to say, when I was being dismissed, I was the chairman of the union, the branch chairman, KEWASCO branch. And at some level, we even combined with the county staff, county committee, and I was still overall chairman, and the secretary was coming from the county. So again, this one brought a lot of problems. Though the accusations leveled against me mostly lied in my lifestyle. That is, you are drunk, you normally come to work when you are drunk. There's no time I came, yes, I drink. I don't want to cheat this committee. But there is no time I came to the office while drunk. The only time I remember, there's only one day I came when I was drunk. I was on leave. And it was in 2019. And the year was ending, and I was on leave. Now, that the 1st of December was a Thursday. Now, with the former MD, we had done an arrangement that because the staff were negotiated in the CPA and they were getting shopping vouchers for the Christmas, we decided the salaries should be paid on 27th to help them cushion them during the school opening, so that they don't finish all the monies before Christmas and get problems in when schools are opening. Now, I was just when I was called by the staff, we have not been paid salary, chairman. I was called by more than 20 staff. Until I decided to come, I called the commercial manager and asked, Madam, we had agreed. Today is 31st. Tomorrow, Friday is 1st. Second Saturday. Third Sunday. Monday, children were supposed to go back to school. Now, you have not paid salaries until Thursday. There are banks that delay when you send an EFT, like Equity Bank. It takes about 3-4 days. So I told them, you see, staff are going to get problems. I called more than 3 times, and this she decided to blacklist my number. That is when I decided to come to the office when intoxicated. And I think that is the period he is saying. It is written in my dismissal letter that at times you come when you are drunk. But I was coming not as I was not coming to work. I was just coming because she has blacklisted me. I wanted to ask what actually was happening, that you don't pay salaries. When I came, the CFM and together with the MD were seated in the CFM's office. I asked them what is happening. This was an arrangement that we had done clearly with the former MD, and it was going on very well. What is wrong? They started saying, you know, December has a lot of expenditure. I told them, you are very sure, you are aware that you are supposed to pay the vouchers, you are supposed to pay retirees their dues. No, now this one is not an eventuality. So that's when we rubbed shoulders again. Later on, I was given this letter of dismissal written on 30th October 2020. Thank you.
Thank you, Bwana Koech, and you've stated your roles and where things happen until you are at home now. I don't know whether you, before you were dismissed, did you undergo that process of given warning? Were you given, were you summoned? Were you given fair hearings before you were dismissed? So briefly explain, and do you have any documentation? Of course, probably you didn't came with it, and then you might be having them at home. So basically, can you tell this committee the chronological of events? How did this happen? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Actually, I was given, first, I had been given a Choco's letter somewhere in the month of April, questioning my lifestyle. I answered, and I promised to change, and I changed. I really changed. When I was being given the next Choco's letter,
April of which month?
2020.
2020.
That is a Choco's letter, and when I replied, there's no further actions. They got satisfied with the reply, and that was done. And then it came now, this one in September, when I felt sick. That is, remember, it was a corona period, that is 2020, and I felt sick. I was diagnosed with pulmonary pneumonia at Sinendet Plaza. I took 5 injections, and during this period is when I'm being given the Choco's letter. So you have gone away from it, and I remember very well, after Sinendet, I brought the letters. I don't even have a copy of the medical record, because I brought the medical records straight there in my file. I took it to the MD, and he told me, okay, I'm noted. Give it to the HR. Yes.
Second Choco's letter. What was the reason behind that?
The Choco's was you have absconded it.
You had absconded duty for how many days?
About 7, but already I had given those medical records.
But you never gave any information concerning this.
I took the records and gave to the MD.
Before you gave out supportive documents, yes, during those 7 days, were they aware that you were undergoing some problems?
Yeah, they were aware, because it reached
how were they aware?
Even the welfare committee came to my place to see me. The technical manager also came to my place to see me. Later on, I'm given a Choco's letter after they had come visiting me and knowing that I'm sick. Yeah. Yeah, I informed the office, because that is why I've stated, when I came...
How did you inform? Is it verbally or written?
No, I brought the medical records.
No, the medical records comes after you have been given medication.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Now, the question is, before you seek for medication, yes, did you inform who was in charge that you are not feeling well, you are seeking for medication. So the first instance, did you inform? Were they aware that you are absent because you are seeking for medication?
Yes. I called Mr. Alfred Kiri, who was my immediate boss, who was the operations manager.
Through the phone call?
Yeah, through a phone call.
Thank you. Proceed.
So that is when I was given, and I now found it. I asked myself, now you have come visiting me, you have known I'm sick, still you go ahead and give me a Chokos letter. So I want to say sincerely that I didn't reply that letter. I didn't reply the Chokos letter, and also I was downhearted because already they are giving me a Chokos letter on 25th of September and giving me 14 days to reply. And then, after giving me 14 days, but at the end of that month in September, they gave me, on 25th of September, they gave me the Chokos letter. In the month of September, before even I thought of replying this letter, already my salaries had been stopped. So I questioned myself, I'm answering this letter, it is like a decision has been reached. Because if you are stopping my salary before you even give me a letter, before I'm getting the letter, because I came to the salaries and asked the payroll officer, why did I'm not seeing anything in my account? He told me, here is the letter. The letter was the markings of stopping the salaries were done on 24th of September. And the Chokos letter is reading 25th. Now, I saw as if they had already made a decision, because the letters, I can get them. I have copies at home. I didn't carry that letter specifically, but I have the copy. The letter is there. Yeah. So it had been already, the salaries had been stopped. So remember, this is now in a way adding an insult to an injury, because I'm sick, I'm at home, I'm being given a Chokos letter. Secondly, I'm not being paid salary, I didn't get salaries. Now you become depressed. Out as an area officer. I was answerable to the operations manager. I called him. That is the person I called. Yeah, I called him and told him I'm not. We talked with the MD, and even he asked me, "Oh, how are you doing?"
Honorable Anthony, please let him proceed. You see, he's coming for the submission. We made a phone call. We never made any letter to him. It was just a phone call requesting him to come. So those questions you have, the questions of documents and others, we call you to come and brief us. We are not doing any interrogation for you, because already you know you are at home now. So members stand guided so that let him present himself, and you are not taking much time. So proceed on.
So that during that period, I came back to the office. I met with the MD. We talked, and he told me, I believe you can proceed. You look very weak. And then it was a Thursday. Then I went home. Before I went, I was up to the letter inviting me as being the chairman of the union in a stakeholders meeting that was held in Race. So on Friday, I asked the technical manager on Thursday that you need to add more, then you can get it from your leave days. So I proceeded. It's only later on that when I came to the office, after some time, I went to the HR, reported to HR. The HR came, took me to the office of the technical services manager. We found the operations manager. He asked him, have you been told not to allocate duties to Mr. Koech? The operations manager said no. Then the HR told, the acting HR told him, proceed and allocate him duties. I was allocated duties that day, and I went even to attended a tank that had a problem in Kapchiptero. Later on, I came back. I gave a report to the operations manager and stayed. The next day is when I was just standing and I saw the MD coming out of the office. He was heading to a departmental meeting of the board. And I went greeting him, and he told me, why are you here? I told him, I'm feeling well and I'm ready to go back and tell him I've declined. I'm not taking that letter because I do not know the contents. Now, from there, I stayed at home for some time. When I was now in a very hard position because I have children who are in school. So I had to do everything. I called the HR, asked him, can you kindly assist me if I can withdraw part of my pension money to help me pay school fees? The managing, he went, consulted the managing director. The managing director said he can be allowed, but those people want to confirm that he's no longer on duty so that they can give, because he has not reached 50, he will only be given 1/3 of the total amount. So I sent my wife to the office, told her, because she was coming to town, told her, pick some forms from the office. I wrote a note to the HR. He was given the forms. Because she comes from a village next to where the MD was born. The MD saw her, and she knows her. He asked her what she was looking for there, and she showed the forms, and the MD told him, tell him to come himself. I came, and when I came, he told me, you need to put up a letter writing to me, writing to the pension scheme. The MD told them he declined to take, so I have sent it to the post office. And I said, okay, I'll wait and see. But I didn't get the letter until 2021, around March. So when I came to the office asking, how far is that my pension money? He told me first that, yeah, you have written a letter, yes, but the letter needs to be, those people are saying it needs to be accompanied by the dismissal letter. And so you need to take this dismissal letter so that you need to sign and take it, and then we do a copy and send it to those people. I had to sign because the way I've said, I was depressed, I was out completely, I was down, I had no monies, I had nothing to pay my school, the children's school fees, and my son was joining Form 1. So I had to sign. Only signing and picking that letter, still I didn't get the money up to date. So what I had to do is to dispose. I had a vehicle, I disposed, and I've tried up and down, and right now my son is ending Form 4. And I have two daughters in secondary school. So that is the position actually, and how it came about.
Okay. What we shall do, honorable member, is that we are going to have 1 minute each, and just a clarification briefly so that we can move on, because we still have another Koech there.
Asking if you have received any communication why your pension has not been paid up to date? Number two, you said when that road was being constructed, when the road was being constructed, damages were done on pipes. And you mentioned that some payments were made in form of cash. Can you be able to tell this committee the amount? Thank you.
Honorable Peter Kemoi, and let's be strictly one question, please. And Honorable Vincent, again, one question each.
Thank you, Chair. My question is concerning the contractor. Maybe inform this committee who was the contractor and how was it sourced, because it has to undergo the procurement. So being a contractor also, he was supposed, or she was supposed to supervise the work which was supposed to be done. So you have told us only the contractor. Maybe you can give us, you clarify who was that contractor, who was given the money in person, because you have said the money was given to who? Give us the name of that person. And did you consult the contractor that he paid how much? And how much was consumed concerning the same? So can I kindly clarify that one? And I think the other question was, did they follow the procedures? So were you called by the board before getting the dismissal? Did you appear before the disciplinary committee? Or you were awarded only the letter for dismissal? Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. First of all, I would like to inform Mr. Koech that we do sympathize with your situation as a committee. And I would like to know from you, when the PQ was done by you say there was a contractor that gave out money. How did you arrive at the value of what you were supposed to do? Was there a PQ? Who was doing it? Because when you do a project that is supposed to be done by a contractor, you are supposed to tender or give out, maybe you give out works, you tender. Was it done? And again, in that PQ, was there a factor of labor? Factored in? Was it factored in? Again, maybe following up on, maybe what I also want to know is whether you are dismissed in a fair terms, where maybe there are procedures followed in labor laws. Thank you.
Thank you. Coach, I'm giving you only 3 minutes to give a brief explanation of the same. Where possible, you can answer. Welcome.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair. On pension, one thing I followed up through the offices here, the branch offices. I've also called the main office. The issue here, why I was not paid this money, is they said they cannot pay pension where there are blanks and remitted amount, blank spaces in that statement. So the monies that were deducted from me and I can say all the staff during that period, some period. So the statement has a lot of blank spaces because of unremission of the pension. So those people said we don't pay where there are blank spaces. So that is why I have not been paid pension, is because there is that problem. Two, you have asked about the payment of the damaged pipes. This is what the contractor, because I was in most at times very close to the contractor. And the contracted farm, I'm talking about the contractor who was constructing the road. So this is a Chinese company, and the person who was supervising the works told me the monies have been paid to your account. That's what he said from his mouth. And what made me believe that it must have been paid is when we were coerced or being told or forced to go and walk on that line. Because if the monies had not been paid, they would have left it open. But because the monies were there, we were asked by the management, go and walk, go and do that work. Which means because they were saying they must pay for those because we don't have pipes. Later on we were told, go and use those pipes, damaged pipes, pick some pipes from the office. We even picked some pipes, mixing them. We picked used pipes that we had removed from Kisumu Road here, the 1 HDP, these black pipes, and had to go and mix them with PVC, just to ensure that we satisfy the consumers. So taking us to go and work there means that they knew, because the contractor was saying, if we used to ask the contractor, okay, if you are saying that you are leaving us to work on this thing, give us some people to trench, or even give us your backhoe to assist us in trenching. And he kept insisting, we have paid monies according to the, no, we have paid monies according to the BQ. That is what he said. And you see, being an area officer, I have no mandate to develop a BQ on behalf of the company. That lies with the head of department. That is the technical services manager. So he did the BQ, took it to the officers of the contractor, and the contractor kept saying, there is nothing else we are going to discuss with you. Bwana Koech, fanya kazi bwana. Pesa tulilipa, sasa iko kwa mikono yenu, do your work. Haituhusu tena. So now this work, according to the BQ, they had factored in. I want to combine that question together with the labor issue that has been asked. You cannot develop a BQ without including the labor. That one is mandatory. You must also include the miscellaneous. That is, in case you need to carry some things, the miscellaneous gathers for the logistics and everything. So, even the lunges and everything. So, the BQ was developed by the technical manager, and the contract 2 weeks. I recover very well, 2 weeks. I recover very well. Then I answer the show cause, and then you set a date for hearing my case. The HR went back, didn't communicate to me again that you must come or not come. So I took it that after, because he is the person in charge of issues to do with staff discipline. So I took it that he has bought my idea that you postpone, then I'll appear later on when I'll be very okay, I will appear. But later on it was only perceived that I refused to reply, I refused to appear before the committee, and that was just a perception, but I didn't refuse to do that.
Almost winding.
Yes.
Coach?
Yeah, there's something you asked about the labor laws. On, I think the procedures. Yes. At first, when they started the whole process, they followed in the start. But where they only did a mistake, the show cause letter is reading, you are given 14 days to reply, 14 days to reply to the show cause letter. But when you go back to that letter, I was saying that stop my salary. It was written, the show cause was written on 25th, and in this letter also, it has been marked the staff to appear before disciplinary committee on 7th. Now, if you take 7th and 25th, That is 5 days in this month plus 7 is 11 days. The letter is saying you are given 14 days to reply. And it is, you are appearing before the staff advisory committee in 11 days. Now, I didn't know which one to take because you are giving me a show cause letter to reply within 14 days, and you are saying I appear before the staff disciplinary in 11 days. So it was so contradictory. Also, within this period of before for me to appear, you look at the period is 11 days, appearing on 7. And this is a show cause letter that I'm supposed to reply for them to give me another letter summoning me to appear before the committee, or which you are supposed to be given at least, according to the labor laws, at least 7 days. You need to be summoned at least 7 days before you appear. So you total the 14 days of replying this letter,